Well, it's been about 6 years that I've had my trailer, and it's a mess. I'm starting to tear everything out, and I'm actually changing some of my equipment out. I'm going to change my process a little bit. And I thought you'd like to see the process of the revamping of the interior. It needs it. Okay, I'm going to be cleaning out the trailer. There's going to be a few tips and tricks to this process as far as putting in the new, painting the counters. If you don't want to see this, I recommend you fast forward to 9 minutes. You've been warned, no complaining to me. So this is all I have to sand it down. I'm going to put carpet back in here. It's going to cover most of this up. But I do want to share some. So let me show this to you. It's harder to get it in my area. I'm in Southern California, and you know, the weird part is my town doesn't have it, but the next town over does, so I have to go over and get it. It's oil-based, gotta be oil-based, Rust-Oleum. Comes black, red, yellow, white, and this gray, which is very close to the color of our dirt. You know, I always like to paint stuff the color of the dirt it's gonna have around, because you don't have to clean up as often. And as you can see, I don't clean up very well. But anyway, let me paint this on. If this was fresh, it'd take 2 coats. It's a recoat. The edges are in decent shape. That's really all you're gonna see. And 1 coat freshening it up is all it's gonna need. Oil base. I'm gonna miss you when you're gone. Okay, so it's the next morning. Everything's dry. You know, the thing about this paint, I make a big deal out of it. It's so crisp. You know how you paint something and sometimes it's just a little tacky, sticky, has a slight rubbery quality to it. This stuff doesn't. This stuff is crisp. So I'm gonna show you real quick my trick on how I put down the carpet. Most of you guys, most sharpeners are pretty mechanical. You don't need to see this. You can fast forward through it. I'm going to keep it really short, but there are a few of you from the comments that I've gotten that aren't as hasn't had the experience of doing stuff like this. So I'm just going to show you real quick how you make this fit a space and make it look nice, but fast. Okay, like I said, we're going to make this fast. Okay, I squared up the carpet there. I've got to do 2 cutouts. So I'm going to basically do that, cut in here far enough. Same with the other one and the box. I've got it set down. By the way, if you're wondering what this is, I've got a power strip that sits here, and this plugs into it. This here, there's a coil reel down here, and this goes up and plugs into my overhead lighting when I need it. Most of the year I don't need it. It's just during the time change, last couple hours of one of my markets. Okay, so here's the next step. This is a curved shape. I want to transfer that to this, and I set it back, you know, a 1 inch here, and I like to radius the corners where there's gaps. Now that I'm looking at this carpet not matching, I'm going to get another piece, another foot of carpet, and finish that, redo it. With my new setup, I used to have my wet grinders right here, and this is where my orders get stacked, and sometimes they get put on this spot right here. And my wife's coming and going, and often I'm standing in her way, and so we're going to reconfigure this so my main amount of time will be spent here, and this will be open for her. And when we get too many orders for the racks, she's able to have a little space here that I don't use. So that's the plan. But anyway, here's how you transfer this for you guys that are not as mechanical. There's not many of you, but you know who you are. I've talked to you. You take your Sharpie, and you just go underneath and mark it. Now I've marked it with the Sharpie. It doesn't show up very much, but that's the mark. Now, this section's on the counter. And so I want to come in the little less than 1 inch. I've got a piece of wood here. This is just a scrap I found that happened to be the right size. So I'm going to place it to the inside of the line and put tick marks all around. And here it is all done. Never looked this good again. If you're noticing the sound change, I had a radio playing in my garage and YouTube picked up a trademark song, Barracuda by Heart, and it wouldn't let me put the video up. So here we go. Right here on my power strip, metal shavings kind of collect above the plugs that are plugged in. And when you move them around, the shavings kind of fall down towards the plug and it creates little sparks. Not that it concerns me much, but I do watch it when it's happening. It only happens for a few seconds. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a curtain over the top of this time. It'll just hang down like that. We'll see how it interacts with all the cords. Now, on this power strip, it came with 2 plastic clips. And those clips, I didn't trust them from the get-go. Every time you'd pull a plug in and out, you'd think it's going to break the clip. And sure enough, when I took this down, neither of the 2 clips survived. So I'm going to show you a trick I learned in my previous profession before I retired that is the best trick I know. This chain, you can buy it in the hardware store. All hardware stores sell it. It comes in 2 sizes. Both sides work. And you can use this to clamp anything onto a wall or a board or whatever you want. You use screws, and if you're lucky, you got a screwdriver or a power drill. Okay, so you put the strip into position. I'm going to go down to the other end and just tack a screw in the wall just to hold that end up to come back and fiddle with this end. You take and put the screw through one of the ends, it doesn't matter which one. Put it in your screwdriver, position it, and you screw it in. Not down tight, leave it a little loose. Put the part on the top, put in the other screw. Yeah, this screw's got galvanizing in the Phillips tip. Go with yet another. And you don't want a big gap between the screw and whatever it is you're fastening. You want it close, and then you want it so the chain snugs tight when you screw it down. Almost always the chain will spin a little bit, but you just straighten it out if you care. And then tighten the other one up. And you can see how absolute solid this is. You can't beat this. It's one of the best tricks. I always keep a little of this chain in my miscellaneous bin. It saves the day a lot. You want to make sure that there isn't that the screws aren't spread out too much, though. Okay, here it is all done. You can see the little rubber curtain that hangs over the plugs. I won't have any trouble with them. Well, you can see I've got my tools in, and there's a bit of extra space. That's because I not only was able to take out both my wet grinders, I'm able to take out my belt sander. Here's my new tool. It's made by Cutter Masters. Cutter Master has been making professional industrial sharpening equipment their whole career. This particular unit is new. It's just for the resharpening industry. You need to be prepared to handle anything that comes in, no matter what the steel or what the condition. And this unit was designed with that in mind. The wheels are resin diamond wheels and a very high concentration of diamond. The one on the left, it has 100% diamond concentration. The one on the right, I'm not sure, maybe it's 75. The one on the right is 2,000 grit, and when you use light pressure, man, it really leaves a delicate burr that you can swipe away easily. The one on the left is 100 grit, and it's aggressive. It really cuts fast. This unit is much faster than the systems that I had before. So here's how it works. You are able to go from wheel to wheel, dry or wet. If you want to do it wet, you just need a squirt bottle, and you give it a squirt on each wheel. If you want, this unit is designed to take belts so that you can get a very aggressive belt. If you've got a lot of metal to remove, you're going to thin a knife, you want to be able to go through several grits to get the sides of the knife finished off nice. This unit lets you do it. Mine came with two belt attachments. I've removed one for the time being because of my secondary finishing tool is in the way. That may change over time, but for right now, this is working pretty good. The belts, they go on and off very fast, and you're able to adjust the position of the belt. I like to thin with the belt in the vertical position. Now to do this, I need to stop the motor and reverse it. The reverse button is also the quick stop button for the unit so that you don't have to wait when changing belts for it to stop running. When I pull the arm all the way into my aisleway, that's the best position for me to do gardening tools. When they have, pruners have long handles, and I want that to be in the aisleway, I don't have to stop what I'm doing and turn my sander around to get that position. I'm able just to pull this handle into that position, hit the reverse button, and I'm good to go. When you're using one of these machines, you have to make sure to have the waterproof belts. Not all belts are waterproof, but most all the popular belts do come in a waterproof version. So there you go. Cutter Master, Tradesman Edge. I love it. It's faster than what I had before. It takes up less space, and it's pretty good looking, don't you think?